Hello, welcome to more Haskell coding, live streaming on the internet. Right, so today I'm going to pick up more of the testing. Last week I was testing Servant and trying to get to the point where I could test a little tiny flow, just hitting two endpoints, one to create an environment and one to retrieve that environment and check the information in it. That took me a bit of time, mostly because I had to refactor one of the endpoints to return the ID, and then I didn't really understand how entity worked from persistent, and I struggled a bit to get the data out of that. But at the end of last week, I think I got that working. I should have checked that actually, but I'll check it in a second. So I think that test works. We can now do a two-step flow where we hit an endpoint to create something, and then we hit another endpoint to get something back. That's really the foundation for the stuff I really want to do, which is write some tests about availability. So the idea is that I can create an environment and I can create I create an environment and I check it and it is available. And then I create a booking against it for some time which is not covering the current time and it should still be available. And then I can create a booking which covers the current time and it should not be available. So that's the functionality I want to reintroduce. So I thought I'd do this in a TDD way. I'd actually write those tests up front, cover those scenarios, and then I would go and implement the code and make sure that the code satisfies those tests, which is pretty much how I'd write other code outside of Haskell. So that's the plan. I probably won't get it all working today. Mostly because I'm going to need to refactor some endpoints. So I'm not currently returning availability. And to do that, I think I need to change the return type from various endpoints. And that's just going to take a bit of time to do, I think. But I can start by writing the test, I think, and let the test kind of guide the work I need to do to add this extra data to the return, which would sort of guide changing the API. Okay, so let's give it a go. This is the spec from last week. Like I said, I haven't run Docker or anything. Let's run Docker. This will take a little moment. Wait for the whale to load all of its containers. Why do whales have containers? It makes no sense. While it's going, actually, let's bring up the terminal. And I can pull it into the view and go to here, and I should be able to just run Docker Compose up. Okay, cool. Database is running. So now I think I should be able to run the test. Let's give it a go. Yep, it says it works. So it's should create an environment. I think it was a test I was working on last week. So let's get rid of that. So it should create an environment is running the create environment endpoint, and then it runs get environment. So it extracts the ID. That was the thing that threw me up last week. Extracts the ID, and then it checks that the name is the one that we passed in. Okay. Just because I'm more paranoid about these things, and just make sure it fails if I change this. Yep, looked like it was red. Okay, cool. So it got test MX, but it expected I got these wrong around. No, that's right. It expects test MX, sorry, but it got test env. That's cool. Okay. So, given that, I think I can write a new test. So describe bookings or availability. Maybe I'll look at availability. So in here, we can kind of nest these a bit, I guess. The whales and containers. Okay, cool. It's a start check for the voyage home when they beam whales into storage containers. But when they beam the weld into storage containers, do those welds in themselves have other containers in them? It's one of these things I see all the time, but I've never thought about why it's a weld. I should watch more Star Trek, is the obvious answer. Okay, so availability. It's an easy case when there are no bookings. Oops. When there are no bookings, it should be available. It is available. I think you're right, well, you haven't thought about this enough. We need to have a whole episode just where we watch Star Trek. Okay, it's available. What are we going to do? We're going to create environment. And call this available env. Okay. Then what are we going to do? So we're going to make sure that it is created, I guess. So result should be right of just, and then hoping I can just say something like E at this point. So that's the environment that gets returned. So the entity environment that gets returned. I might need to say entity E. Nah, I probably can't say that, can I? I'll need to construct a name. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that works. It doesn't do anything, it just creates a new environment. I cannot say that. I can't say it's just E. I just want it to be anything, I don't really care. Just something. I probably can't say that. No. I don't want to write the whole thing out. Well, maybe I have to. But in fact, availability we can check. Oops, on the result that comes back, I guess. So I could make this longer. So the full thing will be it's just entity and then environment. Is that right? That's what comes back. Oh, I can see it above actually. So it's environment and then environment name. Name is test_env. Something like that. Does that work? It does not work. Because I haven't wrapped it in this. Right, that's what, hang on, where's support coming from here? Oh, right. I get given a port. So this should return a function. Oops, function which takes a port. And then does that with it. Okay, so destructuring is not right. So it's entity and then some kind of key. And then the value E. I don't know what the key is going to be. This is annoying. I only want to check it's write something. I don't care what actually gets returned at this point. I could do this, which would fail if it was not successful. And then I could look at E instead and say E should be, I don't really care what E is at this point. Actually, I'm going to check it's available when you first create it. So it's just entity environment. Environment name is available env. Okay, just make sure that works. Why does this not work? Oh, because I've got the right and the just in there. Try it again. For goodness sake. And then key is not used, as I was saying. Yeah, the 5 will not use. Okay. So I can definitely ignore this when I'm destructuring it. Okay, we've created it. Now I want to make sure it's not available. So I think I'm going to completely change the type here. It's not going to be entity E anymore. So let me just jump to the definition of this. No definition defined for environment. That's weird. Oh, it's not that weird actually. No definition defined because it's in template Haskell. Okay, I think I don't want to return this. I think I want to change it, turn it to something else. So instead of returning entity DB environment, I want to return something like environment with status. I have it available here. Can I type M? Yes, I can. So maybe in environment with status. Okay. So here we have the ID from the inserted thing, and we're fetching data out of the database, so we get everything that was created in there. So instead of returning entity ID, this thing, we should be able to return sorry, I just paused because I don't know what type env is. Put the code back in. I guess we'll find out. So it's going to be environment status. And it's going to take env ID, env.name, oops, env.environment name. Right, this is a maybe. It's a maybe environment. So what would happen if it's nothing? Okay, so I'm just going to helper function called something like with status, and it's going to take maybe an environment, maybe a db.environment, I think it is. And it's going to convert that into it's not going to take that, it's going to take the non-maybe form of the environment, sorry, and it's going to return an environment status. And then we can say with status, this should be nice and easy. So this is going to be environment status. And I could write like this, can I? Say env. Ooh, we should take an ID as well. So we will take I think int 64. I don't think that's what we end up with, but let's try that. And just fix typo when it comes up. So here we got the ID and the environment we've loaded. So the ID is the ID we were given. The env name is going to be e dot environment name. And the env status is going to be whatever this is, available. Okay, and then we can say with status with status, and then the ID that we were given, and we're just going to map that over env. So here we can say if it's nothing, we will return nothing because we're f mapping over it. But if it's something, oh my goodness, I wrote this in the wrong language. Sorry, just fix this one quickly because that's stupid of me. I didn't need brackets. Is that exported? Hold on a second. Okay, so if it is something, then we will call this function, setting the ID, and then it will extract the name and build this struct where it's available. Because it'll always be available when you first create it. There can't be any bookings at this point. Okay, here I could say from SQL key, maybe. Oh. Okay. So I'll convert it into an int64, and then we have this problem with environment name. And what's it called? That should be it, shouldn't it? It should just be environment name. I'm not mapping anywhere, am I? No. There's no N. Okay, so can I now say DB? Yes. Okay. So in theory now we're going to return environment status rather than just environment. Sorry, go back to my spec. I had to do that first because I want to add the extra check in here. So we can say something like env status is equal to available. But we couldn't do that until we had env status set up. And I'm going to get some errors now because in my API, I've defined the API as returning, when you create it, it returns maybe env environment, and I actually want to return environment with status. Get rid of the brackets, and that's not imported. Okay, let me go back to here. So dead environment with status is not being exported. Environment with status, and we'll export all the constructors. Okay. Let's import that as well. Okay. It does now turn to JSON. Okay. So, oops. In here, I need to add it to JSON for it. I can probably just derive it. I could just derive it actually, but I could also fix the names up a bit because we don't want to export like env-id and env-name and env-status. So I might do the same thing I did with a new environment. And it's going to be environment status. And here we will say environment status. And we'll grab all the fields from here. So it's going to be env-id, env-name, and env-status. And we can say in here, I think it's just a list of these assignments. So can I say something like ID, I don't know what this returns to me, but whatever this is. So env-id, and name is env-name, and status is env-status. Can I break over all the lines? Yeah. Okay. So now this looks happy again. I still have an error, but I think this is here. Oh, I think this is stopping HLS running on this file. So I wonder if I can try fixing it. I don't know whether or not HLS will reload properly. But I might as well just import HP client into the main app, into main library, sorry, even though we don't actually need it. This is just to get HLS to work on that file, in the spec file, basically. Okay, next error. Good. Okay, cool. Okay, so E should be environment with status. I need to import that. It's not environment name, it's going to be env name. And it's just, sorry, where I imported that thing. We'll import everything from it. Okay. Good and bad. Okay. So this one actually is upset. Let's fix the easy thing first. So env-id. What's env-id going to be? We don't know. That's the point. Like, it's generated. Oh, that's going to be really tricky to match. Okay, I'll ignore them for now. Right. Result is, yes, so result is no longer entity, whatever. So I should be able to say just E. And down here, I should be able to say just E. Okay, and this is not environment anymore, it's environment status. I might get rid of this test actually. Oh no, I need it for the key. Why do I need it for the key? Ah. Okay. This is no longer entity environment. This is just going to be, we can get out of E, so we can say env_id of E. Okay, so in this one, the only thing we care about is mStatus. So can we say environment with status and then destructure this? So the only thing we care about is mStatus. E, and we need to let what's this saying? Illegal use of punning, username field puns. I don't have that. I do now. Okay, so here we can say mStatus should be available. Import. No. Okay, so I'm not exporting available. So back here. So environment status is also not being exported. Okay. I can now import this. A new error. What fun. What's this saying? No instance for environment status arising from use of client. Okay. I thought we did have that instance to JSON environment status. And what's it looking for? No instance from JSON. Yeah, that's tricky. I can see if it just derives it. Otherwise, I would need to write something like this, given object v, and then pull out the, just pull out v actually, and then maybe string match on it. But let's hope I don't need to do that. Here we've got now. No instance from JSON environment status. I think that's a lie. I think environment status does have from JSON. Oh, sorry, it wasn't that I was complaining about. It was this one. Instance. I don't know why I have to give a from JSON. Okay, I'm not drawing anything here, that's probably a mistake to start with, but I could derive generic, and then it would be able to derive the from JSON instance. However, then we get a problem where the way that we are serializing it to JSON wouldn't match the way that we deserialize it, because it would assume that I have got a field called env_id and a field called env_name. That's not the case. So I will write in the rules for deserializing it. Okay, so it's going to be environment status. And we are going to pull out the ID first. Then the name. Ooh, and then the status. How is the status going to work? Okay, now I need to derive from JSON for environment status. Okay. I have no errors left, so I think we're good. So we have a test which says get the status back and it should be available. Let's see if it works. It does not work. Oh, okay, it doesn't work for strange reasons. In the import of from SQL key, I've made this really pedantic, which I kind of like, but also it's going to trip me up a lot. I think when I'm running the test, I've told Stack to run with pedantic errors, but I haven't told Cabal that, and Cabal is what's driving HLS, so I'm not getting the warnings in line. Cool, that worked. Okay, so it is available. Availability, when there are no bookings, is available. What did I do there? I randomly clicked on something. I could make that explicit actually, but anyway, let's not do that. Just to check this is working, right? So bookend booked. Import that. Actually, its suggestion is better than nothing that I did. We're going to pull in all of the instructors for this. Okay, just run this, make sure it doesn't work. Yeah, expected booked, got available. Cool. Okay. So that's kind of cool when we first create it, but then we could say describe when there is a booking. Well, okay. When there's a booking for the current time, I mean, say it is not available, it's booked. Okay, and this takes port. Right, so now we need to create it. We'll check that we can destructure it. Can we do this in one go? Can we say, should we just, not that, but here, environment with status. and status. So let's see if that works. Let's see if I can save a line. Yeah, cool. Okay. So we could probably destructure it. Oh, let's go that way. Oh. We don't really care what state at this point because we know it's going to be available, but we could destructure the ID. Okay, now we can create a booking. No, yeah. So this is create an environment. And we're not going to call it available env. Call it booked. We destructure. Okay, so now we're going to create a booking. Okay. So let me just rename this because we're going to get two results. So env result. Now, when we called this before, turn up here. We were using the API again to call get environment. Which is cool, but I don't want to use this endpoint, I want to use the booking endpoint. So I need to grab another thing from this long list of endpoints in my API. And to do that, I need to look at the API definition, I think. So we got first was list, then we got create, then we got get, then this is the get. Oh, it's annoying. That's the get for the booking. And it's the last one, which is the create for the booking. And that takes the env ID, and then it takes a booking. Oh, it's still DAO booking. Right, we'll clean that up. Okay, so that was the get for the booking I don't care about. Where's the pipe symbol? There. And this is create booking. Is there a way of splitting this with multiple lines? There is not. I could do it here, I guess. No, I can't split let over multiple lines. That's annoying. I can't do that either. Okay. I'll just leave it. Okay, create booking. No, I'm not going to write a separate test. I'm just going to as part of this. Okay, so this should now be one client m create booking. It takes an env ID and it takes a booking, some kind of booking thing. And we don't have the new booking thing yet, so I'm going to go and write that. So in environment, I created something called new environment, which are all the arguments you pass in when you create a new environment as well. So in booking, I want to do something similar. Ooh, there's loads of shit left in this file. I'll do that later. Okay, so before we get into the code, let me just add this new type. And I'm going to call it new booking. New booking, and what have we got? So in the DAO we have DAO booking. I need this definition. Oh, I need quite a lot of that actually, because we want the from duration when we parse it. Let me just grab this for a second. Oh wow, there's quite a lot of it going on. I've called this new booking, which is probably not what I want to do. Okay, so let's just comment that for a second. Okay, new booking. And what fields have we got? We've got new booking ID. We don't need to pass the ID in when we're creating it. But we do want the name. Oh, the env ID as well. In fact, we don't have a name. What am I doing here? The env ID will definitely be passed in. No, it won't. It'll be returned, but it'll be passed in the URL, but it'll be passed in this booking, this booking data. What else are we given then? So we're given booking from, so new booking from, which is going to be UTC date time, or UTC time, sorry. UTC time. And we'll have, you won't pass in seconds. You're going to pass in something else, duration, I guess. Yes, I'll call it duration here. And that's going to be a string that you pass it in. And that's the thing we're going to parse and turn into something more useful. Okay. I don't think we need generic. Yes, we want generic because we're going to have an instance on that. So instance to JSON of new booking. It's not on scope, so let's have to put in okay, and then from JSON on new booking, it's going to be bits from above, but not all of it. Let's import that, and let's import object, and let's import that. Okay. New booking. Let's not worry about that yet. It's not new type because it's got two fields. It's going to be data and derived generic. Okay. New booking. It's got a number of fields. So the first field is going to be we'll just call this thing from. I want to disambiguate this name a little bit, so we're going to say new booking duration. Okay, first thing we give it is the from, and then we're also going to add from duration of v. Is that okay? From duration, I'm just going to copy from here. Do I need to copy the duration here? I'm just thinking I don't need to turn it to seconds until I'm about to store it in the database. So I could serialize and deserialize this JSON just into strings, basically. So I could say v.: duration. Something like that. I really have to write the instance to JSON because they're not symmetric. Do I even need this instance though? We'll find out later. Okay, so I think I can get rid of this stuff for now. Yeah, because we're only turning it to string, right? We're not turning it to seconds when we're deserializing it. We'll turn it into seconds when we try and put it into the database. So when we try and create it. So let me just export that as well before I forget. Okay, if I go back to here, create booking, and then we should be able to say new booking, and it should let us import this. Okay, a new booking, and we're going to have what was it called? New booking name. Right, I'm just going to pull that out for a second. So we'll say let booking equal new booking. I'll just give it some arguments. So we could call it. It hasn't got a name. It's got a from. Okay, we could say now. And the duration we could set to be 1 hour. Okay. So now we can say now comes from get. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want it to suggest something to me. Get current time. Running on the right anyway. Okay, so we get the current time, we create a booking from that, we pass it into create booking endpoint. The result should be write, and then a booking. Tricky. I'm just going to do the let it explode at runtime thing. So let write just booking B. We don't care what the booking is. So that should equal. This is not the get result this time. This is the booking result. Okay. And then we will get it. Non-scope booking. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, doesn't it like to do that really? So just booking. Can I do this? I wonder. Possibly. Cool. So we're going to get the environment. We're going to get env ID, which we grabbed before. And we'll say it should be the env status. Right, so I'm going to change this to the environment status, which is going to cause me some problems. What are we going to return here? Return something with the ID in it and with the availability in it as well. So env name is booked env. And one final argument, which is env status is booked. Okay, so a couple of errors. One is that I haven't told the booking endpoint to take this new structure. And the other one is that get does not return environment status, it returns entity environment or something. No, just environment, not entity environment. Okay, let me try the environment first because I think that might be quicker. So get environment is going to be maybe environment status. Okay. So it's not going to be this at all. We're going to say oops. So first of all, we're going to load this. Then what do we want to do? We have this with status helper. I could pull it out and I could say with status. We have the ID, it's already in int64. And then we're going to map that over the environment. Wow. The environment. I think I hit Control N by typing too quickly. Okay, just draw it there. No, don't do that. Do that. Okay. That's going to always set it's available, which is the wrong thing to do, so that's kind of good-ish. I think it is. Okay, so that's going to have broken the API. Because it's not returning app environment, it's app environment with status. And then up here, I need to say that getting it will return an environment with status. Okay, that's surprisingly good. Go back to the spec. Right, so I fixed this line it now expects environment status, but this one is now broken. So m by d is, I'm going to destructure that because it's annoying me. M by d, m name is that, and m status is available. It's not the string available. It's a type constructor available. Okay. It says m by d. I'll destructure it, not like that, like that. Can I do that? Yes, I can. Okay, so now the only problem we have is the booking, which is the more difficult one to solve, but hopefully not too difficult. So if I go back to, let's go back to here. There should be a create booking. So it's not going to take a DAO booking, it's going to take a new booking. And it's going to return DB booking. That's good enough. Okay. Right. So first of all, the booking from is easy enough to do, I think. We just say a new booking from B. Booking 2 is more interesting. So booking 2, we need to get out of, we parse a duration, it gives us back some seconds, and we add that on, I think, is what we do. So let's uncomment that now. Okay, parser, we can pull in, and second is really just an int. And we're not going to go from an object, we're going to go from a string. And we don't take object, we take some value. I call it input there, so let's call it input again. Okay, then we pull in parse duration. Do we want to call fail? I don't think we want to call fail. I think actually we want to return a maybe parser int. So it returns left and right. So left, which is an error. Oops. I could just change to nothing. And I could change this to just S. I don't need to be a parser int, do I? Okay, so from duration, I can give it I give it a string, which is a duration thing, and it either is going to return nothing if it can't make sense of that, or it's going to return it. It's going to return the string. So I'm just wondering if it's actually worth trying a maybe here, because we could just return an either. And then I can't remember what type is of the errors. Is it string? But then I can just call parse duration. There's no need to have just one duration function. So I could say something like that seconds equal parse duration and we'll be parsing. We're parsing the new booking duration of B. Okay, so we have second. Well, we don't really have seconds. This is not seconds at all. So here we can say left error. It won't be nothing. It'll be fail. I'll make it fail properly in a second. What's this saying? Unexpected do block. You probably write the parentheses. We meant to enable block arguments. It's my multi-line let thing again. Can I say let do? No, it doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah, do that for me. Wingman will not complete it for me. Okay. Right S is S basically. So this doesn't compile. How do you have multi-line let statements in a do block? I don't know. Okay, for the sake of not understanding how to write Haskell, I'm just going to grab the original definition of that. I'll return that. Oh, I can't call fail there. Because the fill wants to be an either. Oh, this is annoying me. Okay, can you say that the either is parse duration on new booking duration of B? You cannot. Okay. Haskell multi-line let into. Multi-line string. Is it going to keep an example? Is it braces? No, it's not braces, is it? Can I enable block arguments? And can I write this? So last error is this stuff. And right error is something else. Sorry, right S is S. It's not going to work. And doesn't work. And that doesn't work. What does block arguments even do? Oops, block arguments. Is there any helpful thing with let? No. Oh, this is really annoying me. It's just a little syntax thing, and I can't get it to work. Thing is, here, punctuation could be a failure. What can I do with either that will help me? Maybe I can just write something on, let's maybe some function I can use from the either type, which will let me handle the right case in one line. If I use left A, apply the first function to it. If it's right, apply the second function to it. Okay. So can I say either the first function, which is going to be, was it left A? Yeah, left A. Okay, so it's going to take the A. So it's going to take the error. Don't know what the type of this is. But I could say something like fail could not parse duration. Okay, and then the other thing I give is ID. So it's successful. I just want to return the value itself, and then that will become the last argument. Oh, what's the problem here? Couldn't match int with M1A1. It's some parse duration input. Okay, should return an either M1A1 and that actually returns seconds. M1A1 bound at 78. Let's line them on 7. So either length, are these the wrong way around? No, left is the error case. So the length of foo times 2. Okay, so I've got my first function is something which takes, well, we don't really care what it takes. It just calls fail. Oh, they have to be the same type, right? Because A to C or B to C. Oops, that's not quite what I want. It's close, but it's not quite what I want. Okay, just to move forward. So either const 0 oh, from right is a helper, okay. Okay, all of that, right, and then I can just put the seconds in. Oh, booking 2, I don't know where that came from. The second is the last argument. Oh, where did booking 2 come from? Booking 2 is down here. Okay, so we're going to take a new booking and we will add S onto there. So we're going to take seconds, which is an int in this case. Okay, and then from is actually called new booking from. So booking to should be SB. Right. Oof. Okay, so now we should be able to pass in this new type when we create a booking. It's taking far too long. So up here, when we're creating it, we don't pass in a dial booking, we pass in a new booking. We already imported that, so we will import that. And we have one error left. Oh, where's my error? What instance I'm missing? Is it to JSON on new booking? Okay. To JSON, not to booking. Where, and then we need to get this right, so copy it from here, I think. So to JSON will be new booking to JSON. Okay, and it's got new booking from, oops, and new booking duration, and name is going to be new booking from, support that, and add name fill puns, and import object, and import this funny little operator. Okay, so name is that, not name, no. From is that, then duration. Dot equals new booking duration. Okay, they got rid of the error. So back to the spec. What I'm hoping to see is it failing because it should be available and it should be booked and it's available because I'm not calculating that properly. But that's not the error I'm getting. So data time is in package time, and which server spec is complaining with this? Okay. It's just called time. It's not called Tim. It should be a package called Tim. Just let your Haskell read ancient Greek or something. Okay. I can't do it with no bindings. Can't do that either. And I presume I can do that. No. Binds no variables. Okay. I'm just going to discard this result for now. I really ought to check it, but I just want it to work. For goodness sake, booking is not used. Import booking from booking DB is redundant in server spec. Okay. Excellent. So I expect to be booked, but it's available. That's where I wanted to get to. Cool. Good place to stop. Okay, so I have the failing test. I now need to make the availability or the state, this Ember status return the correct status to actually go and look it up by loading the bookings and checking. Cool. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, yeah, a lot of refactoring and changing stuff around. Next week I need to sort out this sort of converting the new booking into a booking and handling the error properly. I can do that, but also more importantly, I can hopefully start doing the code I want to be writing, which is to implement this failing test. Cool. So thanks for watching and hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.